Okay, thank you. This is ICS TV. My name is Desmond Muga from ETV. So we are here joined by two gentlemen, James Gitaka Isa, the chairperson of the Gishu Journalists Association, and also Mr. Juma TJ Tom is an event organizer and also youth-related, doing various youth-related projects. And just a quick reminder to our audience that this particular interview is powered by the Safaricom mobile app. So this Safaricom mobile apps give you a free accommodation that if you download the M-Pesa app, you're going to get free 500 MBs free of data, and also they're going to give you 100 shillings cash. So what you need to do, this interview is powered by the Safaricom M-Pesa app. So that's it. So let me introduce before we go to the discussion, the interview here. Like I said, James Gitaka is the chairperson of the Gishu Journalists. So thank you, sir, for making time for us. And good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here at ICS TV.
Yeah.
And to the viewers at home, wherever they are, it's a pleasure being here to talk about what I'm passionate about.
Okay.
And this is in the voiceless. It's been 11 years and counting in the field of journalism, having been employed by the Media Maps company, working for Canyon FM. Later on, Milele FM, work thereafter. I got looked into People Daily as a photojournalist.
Okay.
Yes, that has been my journey. And of course, over the years, we've had Media Resource Center that I'm proud to say I'm a part of the founding members of the Eldoret Media Hub. It's a media resource center, the only one of its kind in Kenya now, it's a pioneering center. Of course, we have others that have come up through the support of the Media Hub. So
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the interruption there, but thank you for those brief CV that you got, a very wide CV, though most of us who wrote that particular CV. But let me go to the next person, TJ Tom, and MC and event organizer. Thank you, sir, for making time for us. It's a pleasure having you.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, TJ Tom is a Facebook name. Official name is Tom Juma. So TJ is just initials.
Okay.
I may not say basically that I'm an event organizer, but I'm in the world of events. That is a side hustle. But I work for Media Focus on Africa, which is a media organization. We prepare radio and TV programs. It's actually an NGO. And we began way back in 2008 in preparing different programs. The latest one being Miss President Season 2, which has been airing on KTN on Thursdays from 8 p.m. And we're also doing community activities and training of journalists. But apart from that, in youth-related issues, since the year 2009, I've been dealing with a lot of youth issues, especially through support from USAID, World Vision, Youth Alive Kenya, and different other organizations, because I also have a youth community-based organization, which we get funding from different partners. So we've been running through that. And apart from that, I'm also in charge of issues of publicity and communications at Kenya Red Cross, North Rift Region, and NCCK also in North Rift Region. The issues of events, definitely, I do official functions, where the president, the deputy president of the government functions mostly, and corporate functions. And team building, that's what I do a lot.
Thanks for the correction in terms of name, but I missed it with the letter Tom Juma. But thanks for that particular correction and what you do. So 33491 is our SMS line. Keep the comments coming. ICS TV on Twitter, just keep the comments coming. We bring those comments before we take a break. But just to reintroduce my panelists again, we have Rema Mutios from ICS Publication. We have Colin Simito from CIT, Vijay Luanga on my right from Lead Media. We have Ruth Jepkoech from ICS Radio, and lastly we have Hagai Wambuje from ICS TV. And like I said, my name is Desmond Muga from ETV. Okay, let me kick this off by Mr. Tom Juma. You have this vast CV on doing various things, event organization, or what you have done but I want to focus myself on Miss Presidency.
Yes.
Okay. This is a show which has attracted a lot of contestants in this particular thing, that during the selection of these people from the 47 counties we have, Kenya is so polarized that we are divided along tribal lines, and you know that. how do you tackle the tribal issue in terms of selection of the contestant? Because each and every person in this country wants to be somehow represented in these particular competitions.
Okay. Thank you. Well, Miss President is a concept about women and leadership.
Okay.
That's why you hear the word Miss MS President, because it's Miss President. And this is our season 2. The first season was in 2019. We did season 1. It was still aired on KTN on Wednesdays, but this one was season 2. And first of all, we call for applications. We send a call for applications. We advertise on all the media platforms for women who are interested to apply. And of course, we rarely look at where the tribe is, because it is if you are willing as a woman to take up leadership position. The objective of Miss President is Kenya ready for a woman president? So not basically like we are looking at a woman president, but we are looking at women and leadership in their respective areas. And that includes from MCA to governor, senator, and an attempt at presidential races. It's a world dominated by women. We've gone to these counties and personally went with my crew to all the 47 counties to look for applications. After all the applications were done, we now check them out, and then we call those we think they have done at least better, they're able to understand what leadership is, because we have a set of questions. And we call them for an audition. And we did regional auditions. We did for North Rift region here, we went to Kisumu, to Isiolo, Nakuru, up to Mombasa. And then we got now the top who are going to represent. And we did not even look at if you are coming from, you have to be in a particular county. We looked at how good you are. So the max was over 50. So you have to get 25 and above. So all those who got 25 and above, those are the ones we selected, took them to Nairobi in what we call a leadership academy. And that's where we did the productions from for over 3 months in one area.
Okay, thanks. Before I give my panelists, just a last question for you. We do have Nadia Abdallah from Mombasa County. She was also a contestant in the Miss President, and she was selected as the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of ICT by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And also the list is quite long. Like, can we have Betty Adera, Nairobi County Political Party Women in Congress and Patron? So you groom these women for leadership positions, right? So do you do a background check on what you taught them during this particular competition, that they implement those things? Because we do understand that when somebody has been catapulted to power, he or she seems to forget what made him to go to that power.
It's very true, what you say. Meanwhile, the Leadership Academy is a place for women to learn. Everything is catered for, everything paid for them to be in that academy. Now, in the academy, you are taught leadership roles, you are taught communication, you are taught international relations, even etiquette on how they are supposed to behave in front of others, how they are supposed to use spoons when they are going for dinner, and all that. So, most of the ladies, and the few that you just mentioned, most of whom are in season 1, they are doing so well, because imagine, umechapa kwanza 2 good weeks in an academy where you're just learning alone. You wake up in the morning, you learn, etc. So it means that that has to get into your mind. And like you said, we actually do follow up, because we check on them. But like you said, definitely they definitely change huko mbele, because the nature of your work can definitely turn you back to suit the environment. However, they don't forget their role, because their role as women is to empower their fellow women. So the leadership academies to empower the young women is mostly for them to take up leadership, except for a few more counties, which we actually supposed to be doing community forums starting next month. And that is Narok, Kericho, West Pokot, Isiolo, Embu, and Mombasa. Those are the counties we are going back again to talk to the women, because you realize none of them was elected even at MCA level. Apart from the women rep, there are no women elected in those counties. Even people like Kericho. Nandi, we did so well because even the deputy governor was a product, and she left the academy earlier and went to contest, and she's still the deputy governor to today.
Thanks.
And we are still doing well. So we're actually hoping as we keep moving that the ladies, those watching us even here at institution, I'm hoping to see that leadership is being taken over. The chairperson doesn't have to be a man. We also want to have ladies, right, ladies?
Okay. Thanks for that. We are wondering where we men will fall. But let me give this chance to our fellow panelists here to ask the question. I don't know if I could start with Raymond just on the side, can you?
Yes, thank you. My name is Jahema Mutias from ICS Publications. My question goes to Tom Juna. How do you usually manage all these tasks? I've heard you are an MC, you empower women, you do youth projects. How do you manage all these? Explain to our viewers.
I know that is very tough. Because you see, like today, from here I'm supposed to head to West Pokot. We are doing some emergency monitoring of landslides and the rest because of the rains. And at the same time, we are preparing for a regional conference and MCCK and all that. And we are working again to Miss President. You have to plan yourself well. You have to plan yourself well. And if you do your work well, your boss will even trust you to work even from home. You see, Media Focus on Africa, which is where I work from, the offices are in Nairobi, in Lavington. But my boss knows very well that I've got other things to do in the community, of which in my position, mine is actually most of community work. So in the event that I'm doing issues of Miss President in the community, I get to interact with the community. And with the Kenya Red Cross, I'm a life member. Life member, it means I'm there forever until when I die. So I've been there since 2005. And I've been very active. I've won several awards in that. So they still feel you can do well. Please help us as you go on with your duties. Kindly assist us. Now remember, it's just like if you're a board member. You're a board member in this school, board member in this school, board member in this school. You can still manage all of them, but you have to plan your time well so that you don't get mixed up with this. And remember, the county can also call me and tell me, hey, the president is coming on World TB Day, we need you. And I'll have to travel very fast and be here. It is not easy. By the way, if you're not tough enough, you can break down. Because I can imagine the worst time that I almost broke down was leaving Liberia, like today at 3, arriving in Nairobi at 5 a.m., taking a vehicle to Kisumu for a wedding. And by that time, I'm supposed to come back and get back to Eldoret, and we are supposed to go for response in Elgeyo Marakwet County. So you see all that journey of 2.5 days and less of sleep, you can break down. So you have to be tough and know that life is not for the faint-hearted. You have to be tough and focus. Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Emito Collins from Emito Media, that is CITV, CI Radio and CI Publication. I'll go straight to Mr. Githaka, the chairman of Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. Maybe if I can ask, what is the essence of a journalist being all round?
Thank you very much. It's a timely question because the world is changing. There are a lot of dynamics in the world of journalism. Many of us, as we began out earlier, we specialized in a given area. But over the years, the emerging trends in the media industry have forced us to be all-rounded. And what does it mean to be all-rounded, by the way? It's a question you ask yourself as a journalist. Wole Soyinka once said, books and all forms of writing are an object of terror to those who suppress the truth. How best do we get this message out? Because our work is to tell the truth. Every other government, every other regime, every other person who is not doing the right thing will always want to suppress the truth. And that is where your role comes in as a journalist. To shape opinions, to set agendas to the public so that they may know the truth. And why is the truth important for a journalist? Because it informs in decision making, be it government, be it the public, so they are able to make informed decisions. We began by, earlier on, radio is one of the oldest forms of medium that we have. But over the years, of course, radio has managed to reinvent itself through technology, but we have other forms that are slowly dying out. But yes, to come back to your question, being all-rounded means that you can be able to tell a story. If, there's convergence in our newsrooms today. and that is evident to every one of us who can see that. And it was more evident during the COVID-19 period. Your organization sends you as a single journalist. You're supposed to be, you can take a video of what is happening. You're supposed to do a story for radio, and you're supposed to do a story for online. And why online? Because those are the emerging trends. This is the kind of pressure the media is receiving today. And so how do you keep it in terms of informing your audiences? You have to be able to be all-rounded. You know how to write a story for online, for radio. You can also do very good in TV production, and that's it. So being rounded is very important in terms of helping us to do what we do best, telling the truth.
You are the chairman of Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. Maybe what are the key roles of Uasin Gishu Journalists Association?
The association was formed out of a need that arose. There was a gap because every other time a journalist would pull in their own different directions. When you are in school, one of the tenets that you taught of a good journalist is being a team player. You can be able to work as a team so that you can deliver. But you realize when you get to the field, the teamwork is not there. And it is very important to help you as a journalist deliver. We noticed that there was a gap, especially between the veteran journalists who are in the industry, them in the field, and the young journalists who are coming in. How do we bridge this so that there is a sync between those who've been practicing and young journalists who are coming in and who need to learn quickly, to be able to adapt easily with the industry. And this is the reason as to why we had to have an idea of coming up with the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. Previously, there were attempts to have journalists come together, but the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association seems to have come at a right time. After the ICC challenges that saw a great division among us journalists in this town. This town was worst hit by, the 2007 post-election violence. And with that, there were unique challenges that affected journalists and the way we were doing, because we come, rather than being journalists, we also come from our backgrounds in terms of, our ethnicities. So there were unique challenges then that divided journalists more than was needed. But of course, over the years, we managed to have the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. It was registered and by government. Today, we have over 50 journalists who subscribed to be members of the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. The association has given birth to something that we thought was very timely, very important, is the need to have a media resource center. After COVID-19 struck, most of the bureau offices, most of our media organizations, they closed down their satellite offices across the country.
Maybe Mr. Githaga, just to cut you short, you have mentioned something about the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association having about 50 journalists in present. So are there also students who are practicing journalism also involved in?
Yes, there are two different cadres. There are those who come in as we provide attachment, and that's why I was heading in terms of trying to explain to you why we have a media resource center. Because other than forming an organization that brings us together, how do you address the issue of some of the very unique challenges that we face in the industry? And that is what informed us, the association now coming up with the Media Resource Center. The Media Resource Center helps us come sit together. It also, it brings students who are on attachment on board. Of course, the organization is also open to journalism students. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm Mwango Jen from News Media that comprises of News TV and News Radio. So my question is, what can lead to press card being revoked by the Media Council of Kenya?
There are many things. We have a media Bible, which I think you are conversant with from the Media Council of Kenya. There's 25 articles of it. They're very important because they guide us on how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. They dictate actually what it is that you're supposed to and not to do. A violation of either of those 25 things that are in that small Bible could lead to the revocation of your MCK card. Of course, there are other things that have not been mentioned that you realize the Media Council is abreast about. depending on what's happening currently in the industry, if I have a complaint against you, the conduct of a journalist, you came to me in the organization, you didn't present yourself like you're supposed to do, and I feel there's a problem. Within the council, there is a complaints body where you're supposed to make complaints, and if those complaints hold water, and it's found that you violated any of those articles that you're talking about, then it can be suspended. Yes.
And remember, okay, since I'm also in the same industry,
Yeah.
if you use that card wrongly, you remember the case of some guys in Nakuru. So you use your card to go and extort money from people. And this is something we do not want the coming in journalists, the young journalists, to get into. We get into a lot of extortion just because you think being in a media, it gives you the space. So unatisha mtu so that chota ama niandike your story. You know, that's extortion. And if you are reported to the media council, then your card is revoked and that is it. And you'll never go back there, however much you plead, in as much as you may not be arrested. So you have to try as much as possible to follow the ethics. That is why there's media law when you're in school. So you follow the media law, and just like Mr. James has said, the Bible that Media Council has provided has everything. As much as it's only 25 pages, very little, but very, very important. So be very careful when you're using your card anywhere you go.
Thanks for those.
My name is Ruth Chekwech from ICS Radio. My question goes to Mr. James. So there was an issue, there were claims from the MCK that there are some journalists who they impersonate their press guys. Did it affect members of your association?
Thank you, Ruth. That communication was very helpful because the challenge of quack journalists cuts across the country. Impersonation. It's happening. I mean, we've had journalists working within Eldoret town who have impersonated. Others are working around without the Media Council accreditation card. What does that mean? Yes, you're a trained journalist, but you're not accredited by the body that that's supposed to do that. You qualify. You call that quack because you're not been accredited to do so. So yes, we've previously been affected, and we're proud to say that matter was reported to the police, and they were not journalists per se, but the law took its own course, and they personated as K24 reporters.
Okay.
We've had those cases so many times. Kwanzia kitambo.
Yeah.
So we've been in a forum where someone just says, me, I'm from Mulembe FM, and because mtu anatafuta pesa, hii dunia ni kutafuta. So those cases are always there, and not just here in Eldoret, but everywhere you go to Lodwar, you meet them. In any place, kuna people who they are believed to be journalists, and they just feel good about it. And since they are known, ni kama wewe saizi unaweza itwa daktari, and you remain daktari, and you can treat people. So you've had those people in the villages, and they are so well. Some of them are midwives, but they are called daktari and nurses.
Okay.
So the same way in the journalism field, those guys are so many, and that's why the introduction of Media Council cards. In fact, if you look at the latest one, it has new features. If some security features are there, if someone just checks and that number is sent, it is able to say that person is registered or is not registered.
Okay, Mr. James, can you explain to our viewers the requirements for one to become a member of the Uasin Gishu Journalism Association?
Thank you very much, and I would encourage any journalist, any student pursuing journalism, there is need for them to be members of the Uasin Gishu Journalism Association because there are a lot of benefits. One is the Media Resource Center that we're talking about. The opportunity to come and see to practicing journalists. There's a transfer of skills that comes with it, And of course, we will help in terms of even getting the accreditation for some of the students who are completing through their studies. And some of the requirements are one, just being a journalist. And are you accredited? And if not, then we help in terms of accreditation, because to be a member of the Uasin Gishu Journalism Association, you have to be accredited. But that does not mean we close the door for you because you've not been accredited. If you have studied journalism you know, and you're willing to be a member, you don't have the media accreditation card, we guide you through the process of accreditation so that you get accredited and become a member of every organization.
Thanks.
Naam, bila shaka jina langu ni Hagai Wanguche kutoka kituo cha utangazaji cha ICS. Swali langu linamwendea Bwana James Gitaka ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa shirika la wanahabari kutoka kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Hivi majuzi kumeweza kuwa na ile agizo kutoka kwa yule ambaye anasimamia shirika la mawasiliano nchini Bwana Ezra Chiloba ya kwamba kuna baadhi ya vituo vitaweza kunyang'anywa leseni zao za kulitumikia taifa kutokana na yale matangazo ya moja kwa moja ya maandamano ya Azimio. Labda agizo hili litaleta hasara gani au changamoto zipi kwa vituo vya utangazaji wapo watawanyang'anya leseni zao za utumishi?
Shukrani sana Wanguche, sijui kama nimesema vile kutamkwa. Mwanzo ni kwamba wakati agizo hilo lilitolewa, kuna wale ambao wanahisi ilikuwa ni kinyume na uhuru wa wanahabari, na baadhi ya mashirika yakiwemo shirika la wanahabari la KUJ, Katiba Kenya, walielekea mahakamani kwa sababu agizo hilo japo lilionekana lina mishiko yake ndani ya katiba, lakini lilionekana litakwenda kinyume na vipengee vinavyotupea sisi wanahabari uhuru, kwa mfano article 37 na hizo sehemu zingine za katiba ambazo sisi zinatupa uhuru wa kuweza kueleza mambo haya. Because for the longest time imekuwa ni not the states censoring the media, and that's why we have these organizations like the Media Council of Kenya to help media iweze kujisimamia, to censor itself. Kwa sasa tunavyozungumza, kwa sababu hatuwezi kujadili sana, ni kwamba agizo hilo mwanzo lilionekana kulenga vituo fulani, vituo 6, na havikuchukulia agizo hilo kwa njia nzuri, kwa sababu hata nyuma siku za baadaye vyombo vya habari vimekuwa vikifanya matukio hayo, vikiripoti moja kwa moja mbashara matukio kama hayo. Mfano maandamano yamekuwa yakiripotiwa mbashara hata katika, sio tu katika jiji la Nairobi, hata nje ya jiji la Nairobi. Lakini kuna vile vigezo ambavyo sisi kama wanahabari tumevisoma shuleni, tunapaswa kuvizingatia, kama kile kitabu nilichozungumza kuhusu cha Media Council ambacho kina wewe kama wanahabari, it regulates you on how you're supposed to report yourself, to conduct yourself when doing those live coverages. Lakini wakati pengine Communication Authority ilijitokeza na kusema these media houses will be required, wafanye mambo fulani na sivyo their licenses will be revoked, ikawa it's an upfront against what the media feel is like media freedom being suppressed in the country. Na ndio maana kesi hiyo ipo mahakamani inaendelea, na mpaka sasa tunazungumza agizo hilo limewekwa hold, it's temporarily halted.
Okay, thanks. I'm told that we need to take a break at this particular time. It's already 11:55 a.m. This is a discussion we're having with James Gitaka. Is a chairperson of the Uasin Gishu Journalists Association. He also has a vast CV in terms of working in different media houses, Milele FM, and just generally the Media Max. So they are also joined by Tom Juma, the event organizer, and also is doing a great job in terms of youth-related projects in this particular country. 33491 still remain our SMS line. That's TV on Twitter. So, like I said before, this interview is powered by Safaricom M-Pesa app. So what you need to do, download the M-Pesa app and get those particular bonuses that Safaricom is offering you at this particular point. We need to go for a break, but before we do that, let me read one comment, 33491. So, Janet Odhiambo from Kisumu County, she's saying that today the panel, the guests today have given us a vast history and what we need to know about journalism as a whole. This is a great bench today, and it's really thanking you for this great knowledge that you are dispensing out there in terms of what journalism is really is. So right now, we take a break. We'll be right back.